Hey everybody, how you doing? Really excited to make this video today. I'm testing out the Tri-Clone trimmer head I got my hands on. You can see behind me, I've got a whole lot of stuff that needs trimming. Got some stuff I need to trim around the house. I got some of this thicker stuff out on the property here. I need to trim around some trees as well. And then I've got some hunting property that I need to clear out some drive paths on. So I'm gonna go up in the shop, put this Tri-Clone on, and then we're gonna test it out, see how it works. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with it today, so check it out. Let's go up to the shop. I'll put some links down below in the description of this video where you can find the Tri-Clone trimmer head and check it out for yourself. All right, now that we're back in the shop, I'm gonna take the factory string trimmer head off and put the Tri-Clone trimmer head on. If you've never taken one of these off before, it's extremely easy. All you gotta do is stick a screwdriver in the shaft there and then spin the factory head off. Notice I'm turning it to the right. Most of them are reverse threads. Then we're gonna pop the Tri-Clone trimmer head out of the box. There's a user manual there. It comes with a washer in there. You'll only need to use this if it's a bolt type head. This one is not. Then literally, just like we took that factory head off, you're simply gonna take the drive shaft, put it through the top there. It's gonna seat down in there. And then you're gonna take your center nut on your trimmer head and put it right there on the drive shaft. If you don't have one for your trimmer head, you can get them at any home improvement store or any trimmer store will have the parts that will fit it as well if you don't have that center lock nut. And make sure that it's tight. Now we're ready to go do some trimming. I can tell you what I like about this already is it's extremely light. A lot of times if you put on an aftermarket trimmer head, they'll be heavy and bog down the power of your trimmer and your trimmer won't be able to spin as fast. But this is extremely light. You can see the blades aren't sticking out yet. It's once your trimmer starts spinning, the blades will pop out. So let's get to trimming and see how this thing does. The first spot that we're gonna try the Tri-Clone out on here is this big open area of about 2 to 3 foot tall just brush that needs to be cleared out. Let's see how it does on this spot. Here's my first start here with the Tri-Clone trimmer head on it. See how it starts up. Started right up. I think I'm gonna like this thing. Let's see how it does. Okay, I've got to stop right now and give you my first reaction after my very first use of that. You saw what I just did there on the tape. This trimming with the Tri-Clone is unlike anything I've ever seen. It was literally effortless for this trimmer head to cut right through that brush. Any other trimmer head I've used, you have to kind of ease into the brush or the grass where it's only cutting a little bit at a time. You saw there where I was able to keep panning back and forth effortlessly and cutting right through that brush. So off the bat already, I'm gonna go ahead and say I absolutely recommend you try out the Tri-Clone. Check this thing out for yourself. But I'm gonna finish this little hillside here and then we're gonna go try some more locations out with it. All right, so we just saw in that first location that the Tri-Clone did an awesome job on some of that tall brush. Now I'm at a residential location. Let's see how the Tri-Clone does just doing some trimming around the house. This house behind me, as you can see, is in dire need of some trimming. So let's see how the Tri-Clone does for a residential application. saw right there how the Triclone did a great job of clearing out this front landscaping of this house. I tell you, one really awesome feature that I learned from using it on this spot is the bottom of the head you can actually lay flat on the ground, which lets you get really close to the surface and lets you make a uniform sweep. So it allows you to keep it level and not make a bunch of wrong angles that it's gonna mess up the landscaping. Triclone did an awesome job. I'd much rather use this for 30 seconds than be out here pulling weeds for 2 hours. Let's take this thing and use it a little bit around the landscaping of this house and just see how it does with some light grass trimming that the mower wasn't able to get. You can see there, the Triclone is doing an awesome job, even just the thin grass around the house. Because it's so light and you're able to place it on the ground, it makes it very easy to quickly maneuver the trimmer head and get a very uniform look across the grass. A lot of times you'll run your mower, then you'll use the weed eater up next to the house, and up next to the house it just looks like garbage because you're hacking at the grass. This trimmer head makes it very easy for you to blend the edges into the grass and be the same length and make the whole yard look uniform. So, loving this trimmer head. Next, I'm gonna take this thing up into the woods into some hunting property that I know are overgrown, and we're gonna try it out on some thicker stuff, probably some small trees and some overgrowth that really need to be cleared out. So I'm gonna take this thing up to the hunting property and see how it does on clearing out some really thick stuff. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Before I forget to mention, I just realized that this trimmer head is ISO 9001 certified. If you don't know what ISO certification is, the short story is that manufacturer has their own quality management system where everything's made the same. The entire process is documented front to end on the manufacturer of that product to ensure that the customer is getting a quality product without defect. Now, I'm up on some hunting property. You can see behind me, it's grown up pretty high since last winter. What I'm gonna do here is clean out quite a bit of some of the paths. One, so we can get our vehicles in there easier. Two, it'll help keep the ticks off us. Let's try it out on some of this thicker stuff, some of this overgrowth, and let's see if we can find some smaller trees or saplings that have grown up over the winter that we want to get rid of as well. Have I told you yet that I really love this Triclone trimmer head? Let's go up to some even thicker stuff and see if we can find some trees that we can take down that have grown up in the paths up here. You can see how easy that this is cutting through that brush, almost like the brush is not even there. I'm not having to slow down or release any pressure. I'm just able to quickly, side to side, cut through all that brush. Let's see if we can find some even thicker stuff to try this Triclone head on. Very impressed using the Triclone back here in the woods to clear some paths. I'm cutting down some 2-inch, even some close to 3-inch in diameter trees that have grown up along the path. No problem for the Triclone. Cutting through them almost as easily as it was with the grass up in that residential area you saw earlier. So very impressed, one, in the versatility of this thing. We can use it on grass, brush, even small trees and saplings. Two, the durability. I haven't had to change out any blades. Obviously there's no string on here. With any other head I'd be having to change out blades or change out strings because the cutting medium would be getting worn down. But here with the Triclone, I haven't had to change a single thing, and this head just keeps going and going and going. Very impressed with this trimmer head. Today alone, I did 6 hours worth of trimming and ran through 3 tanks of gas on this trimmer using the Triclone head. If I had to summarize this trimmer head in 2 words, it would be effortless and universal. This thing is entirely different from any other trimmer head I've ever used. It's light. It doesn't take any effort to go back and forth. If you've ever trimmed before for an extended period of time, you know if you have a heavy trimmer head, it can very quickly wear out your upper body, make your arms sore. I literally trimmed for 6 hours today, no problem. And this trimmer head was able to cut through grass, brush, trees, saplings, you name it. This thing performed flawlessly. You saw it in the footage. I think the footage speaks for itself, but I recommend you check this thing out. I promise you, if you pick one of these up, you'll never go back to using a standard trimmer head. This thing is awesome. Don't forget to check out the links in the description down below for where you can find this Triclone trimmer head. I didn't have to stop to change out any string. I didn't have to stop to change equipment. I didn't have to stop to change the trimmer head. I literally used this for all different types of cutting, and it worked flawlessly. I highly recommend you pick one of these up. If you know anybody who does any trimming, owns a home, whether or not they do it on their own home or they do it for their business, I recommend you tell them about the Triclone trimmer head. It literally is a string trimmer, a brush cutter, and a light use chainsaw all in one. I promise you, you're gonna love it. I know I'm gonna tell everybody I know about it. Hooty hoo!